Yeah, I've got another saucy video here where I'm going to be spilling some sauce on agency processes once again. And this video is going to be specifically talking about outreach, which obviously we all know is super important when it comes to scaling an agency. And yeah, it's going to be really focusing on personalization for cold email campaigns and how I do that to a high level. I'm going to share my exact system, my exact info and how that's going. And I'm going to share you examples of the finished product of my cold email personalization, which is yielding great reply rates. So yeah, if you don't know what personalization is for cold email or emails in general, it is where you go ahead and write a little bit that's specific to that lead, so then they open it and think it's written by a real person, it's someone who's researched them and someone who's taken the time to actually go ahead and get to know their business. And this drastically improves your results when you're doing email campaigns. So for example, personalized emails have an 80% higher open rate and 140% higher reply rate than non-personalized emails. So that's enough said right there. Obviously those statistics are super impressive and you need to be doing this. The baseline has shifted. You know, if you're not personalizing your cold email campaigns, then you're leaving money on the table. So yeah, and it's just a little example, so it can literally be like 1 or 2 sentences of specific info for that lead. So like if you're contacting, you know, let's say you're contacting Jeff Bezos, we all know who he is, then the personalization may say something like, hey Jeff, you know, it's absolutely amazing what you're doing at Amazon. I love the way you've scaled it and gone global, or something, you know, something like that. And then do the rest of your templated email, which can just be your offer, your pitch, your results, and then your sort of CTA, which will be like, hey, let's get on a call. You know, as opposed to doing an email which is entirely the same for everybody and there's no personalization specific to their business. You know, you're really boosting your conversion rate and your reply rate by including that. So enough said, enough waffling. Let me just get straight into it. And I'm going to be showing you my system straight away. So this system, which you can see right here in make.com, is called Icebreaker Gen for Leads, and this is really how my icebreakers are generated. But firstly, I need to show you what we're actually working with as the starting point. So I've got a Google Sheet right here. I'm clicking to it, and this is what it is. Let me just go ahead and hide column R. I'll show you that in a minute. Essentially, this is my CSV file of leads, and me personally, I scrape my leads from Apollo. You know, they don't want to hear me say that because obviously they've been doing their best to block all scrapers. But I do scrape them from Apollo. But sorry, Apollo. And yeah, obviously, as you can see right here, we have a bunch of fields. We got first name, last name, company website. You know, email, obviously we need that to reach the lead. Then we have like LinkedIn, title, so on and so forth. There's also, when you scrape the Apollo list like this, you also get a load of extra junk columns which come in the file. I personally just go ahead and remove those manually. It is a bit tedious, but at the end of the day, it takes like 5 minutes. And then I'm just left with the columns, which I think are like super useful. To be honest, some of these, you know, we don't really need. I don't really need the country or the seniority for personalization, or really the number of employees. But yeah, really what we have, which is super valuable, is the company LinkedIn, as well as the company website. And that's what we really use for personalization. So if I go click back into my make scenario here, we have a scraper. Amplify is just a web scraper. I talk about this all the time. And this is actually a LinkedIn company profile scraper. So what we're doing is we're then scraping the company LinkedIn URL, which we've just received from the CSV file. And then we're going ahead and scraping this. This module here, the second Amplify module, is just bringing the data from the scrape back into our make scenario, and then really what we're having here is we're generating the icebreaker. So we're generating this like 1 or 2 sentences, super strict prompt. I use 4.1 just because I think GPT-5 can still be kind of weird, and then really this is what we're feeding it. So we have the personalization right here. Obviously we got the first name and the last name, so we can call them by their name, their city that they're located, their country, their headline, which is just like their little I think it's like their little LinkedIn bio almost. Obviously the industry we have, but if you're targeting a certain niche, then you already know the industry. Company name, that's a big one. Company short description, that can be useful. And then these blue fields here are the information from the scrape that we've just got on the LinkedIn. And really what we need the most is the about and the specialities. And yeah, we go ahead and generate this, feed this all into GPT, and it just generates like a 1 or 2 sentence icebreaker, which is all specific to that company, to that lead. Bear in mind, I'm targeting founders, so they're going to be most proud of this as well. You know, if this is their company that they've built from the you know, from the ground up, and someone comes in and says, hey, I love what you've done with this thing, and the way you've scaled, the way you've gone worldwide, and your values where you care about inclusivity, that's amazing. You know, they're going to be flattered, they're going to be more likely to reply. And yeah, so then we just go ahead, and once we've generated the icebreaker, go ahead and put this back into that same Google Sheet. Oh, I did not mean to drag it like that, that's my bad. So yeah, let me go ahead and unhide column R so you can see what I'm talking about, if I can remember how to do this. Oh, column S, sorry. How do I even unhide it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. We got an example right here. Just for this lead who works at a company called Arnold, I suppose. impressed by how Arnold's 24-hour turnaround and focus on quality have made you a go-to for property inventory reports across London. My God, I can't read. Let's just go for another one because I butchered the first one. Love how Max Barney blends 50 years of central London heritage with a refreshingly modern, flexible approach to property management. See, it's just simple, but it is specific to this lead. This guy clearly works at a company called Max Barney, so when he receives this, Michael Chijinski, and he works at the Max Barney estate, you know, he's going to go ahead and think, oh, here's this person who's contacted me and they know about my business. And then how is this useful though? We go ahead and pump this into instantly. So we go ahead and upload that whole Google Sheet file. Let me just click in. Photo sequences and preview. And you can see all these variables when you're writing the email, you literally just put like personalization. You just put first name, and these are variables that are going to be populated by the Google Sheet that you upload. So if I go and press preview, you'll see that these things are actually then replaced by the real information. Yeah, I thought it was going to fail me there. Hi, James, that's clearly the lead's name. And then the personalization here, this is the icebreaker that we just generated. Leading arcade in Birmingham's real estate scene must give you a unique perspective on the city's evolving property market. You know, it's simple, it's not over the top, it's not like super, you know, sort of like sucking up to the guy. It just, yeah, it's like praising, but it's not doing too much. And then the rest of the email is not personalized whatsoever, it's just templated. So this is like static text that every lead will receive the same, but then really this first sentence here is what's different. So you can go ahead and read my whole copy if you want. Let me know if you think my offer is any good. I think it's all right, and I had some positive replies so far, and I've not been running this offer for very long. So yeah, I hope real estate companies never miss a lead. I was wondering if you wanted to increase your conversion rate, so on and so forth. Go ahead and read the copy, pause it if you actually want to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's personalization. That's how I go ahead and do it. You know, simple make.com scenario right here, 5 modules. I will say this one is operation heavy because each of these modules has to run. Well, this one runs once because it gets all the bundles, you know, in one go. But then all these remaining 4 modules go ahead and run once per lead. So that's 4 ops for every lead. Well, yeah, 4 ops for every lead, basically, let's call it that. If you're personalizing 1,000 leads at once, which is really, that's what I'm doing usually. I do that like every couple of days. We're burning through a lot of operations, you know, 4,000 operations, just going like that. It does burn through your ops quite quickly. But you know, it's worth it. Obviously the ROI is there. Assuming we're booking meetings and taking calls and closing deals, then the ROI is obviously there. So yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about in this one. If anyone's got any questions, then please let me know. Hopefully that's been insightful though. You know, some people just do simple personalization without the scraper. You can do that where you just personalize based on like the company, you know, the short description and the lead's name and stuff like that. But I think really scraping the LinkedIn takes it to another level, and you get better personalization. So that's the way I'm currently doing it. It may be subject to change, but yeah. Thank you for watching. Hope it's been insightful. If anyone's got any video recs, then please let me know, and I'll do my best to cover it. So yeah, thank you. Keep going, bro.